We know how difficult it is to travel interstate at the moment with limited domestic flights and strict border controls in place. So recalling even a small group of MPs and senators from around the country could prove very difficult. Some states it might not be possible, like Tasmania, WA and the Northern Territory, while some exemptions might be sought for others so that they don't need to go into quarantine when they return from Canberra. Now, there's only one reason why they'll be coming back here, and that is to pass the $130 billion JobKeeper package, which will allow millions of Australian workers to be paid during this crisis. The Treasurer telling Sky News that no expense has been spared to keep Australians in work and to keep businesses open.
Our absolute commitment is to get as many of them to reopen as possible. That's why we have spent $320 billion. That's more than 16% of GDP. This is unprecedented what we're facing. So we have undertaken a series of measures that are unprecedented in scope.
And Eliza, there are calls for Australians to foot their own quarantine bill if they defied advice not to travel overseas.
Yeah, Pete, on March 18, the Prime Minister issued a very clear directive telling Australians not to travel abroad, but the Australian has crunched the numbers, finding that 16,000 people left the country to go on holidays after that time. So it's triggered calls for them to have to foot their own bill for quarantine in hotels when they return to Australia, and it's something the WA Premier Mark McGowan is actively considering.